Welcome, everyone, to another Diamond and Below tournament. We got some hot and spicy action today. But before we get into it, well, to Route 66, I am Mr. Dongles. Along with me is What Dog? How are you?
I'm doing well, Mr. Dongles. How are you doing?
Oh, just not at all sick at all. Perfect.
At all?
It's great. Alright, and streaming for us is Quantum Replay.
Hi.
There he is. Alright, so we have Bye, great team name, always, thank you guys, versus Color Wheel 2.0. Some names I've seen before: Delusional, Carthol, Star Oolong, the Mercy Main, Hobbit. I've seen him play quite a lot. I think a lot of people just came off of playing our pugs as well.
Yeah, it's a mystical place. It's basically a time capsule from season 2 where Junkrat and Mercy were banned. So looking at these time comps, I'm shaking a little bit. Gonna see a lot of Mercy this tournament.
Of course, everyone, especially in competitive play, which just ended not but 5 minutes ago, people are like, if you don't play Mercy, you'll lose. Which is sort of true, but still, Mercy
Even take you
very
seriously
strong
right now.
Attack commences.
And the combo is looking at pretty much. I mean, these are weird comps actually. I'd say Deathwall just because I see a Reinhardt Zarya, but they're running Genji, and a Widow, and the other team are running Reinhardt and Roadhog, but a Zen. They're kind of weird, these comps.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Color Wheel not really committing to one, like not like a 2-2-2 or a dive or a triple tank. They're not really committing to anything. They're just maybe playing their strong suit right now. But
Yeah, for sure.
maybe we'll see as they will round the corner here.
I think there's definitely something to be said about playing your best rather than playing what's meta, I guess.
I mean, hey, all you just need is that, well, 2 picks because of Mercy's Resurrection here.
Burning the cooldown's pretty valuable.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there it is. Is Carl gonna get this? He is, of course.
Absolutely. And let's see if Hobbit will try and go there, but he'll be in there alone as he's behind the charge from Orion, actually grabbing one, but Michi gets his own. So far, only 1 down from the initial engagement, but Delusional kind of far in to enemy territory as he has to back up. No scopes coming out.
That's
2
bad
headshots,
shot
and Orion coming with an early Earth Shatter.
Oh, wow. Color Wheel had pretty much everything going for them there. Not only were they getting a lot of pressure from the Widowmaker, I believe she got 2 or 3 picks within that fight. They also got a lot of damage out from their Reinhardt, meaning they could get Shatter out early. They got the Shatter as well as loads of pick from the Widowmaker, and that was a pretty simple take.
Absolutely, yeah. Really, Bai had no answer to try and dive for no scopes. He's in the back, and we'll have her visor here soon, so you can see behind all the walls. But already we see Delusional here on Winston looking for
I like double main tank. I think it's just super dynamic. I think it's the only word to describe it. You can beat anywhere, you can do anything, you can put pressure and protect whoever you like. And most importantly, right now we see diving on the Widow, and down she goes.
Absolutely, and they finally decided to team up on the Widow, even with the Resurrection coming on. Still Delusional is charging through, and speaking of charges, Michi gets Star Oolong. So that is probably going to be a retreat here from Color Wheel, as they've already lost 2 big people, but Maggie going to use Valkyrie?
Question mark, indeed. I think that's probably a 1 fight. So I think the most value they can get out of this right now is pushing up very far, getting a whole damage boost across the team, and try and charge their else, but they're not. They're choosing not to do that. But I think the main thing to bring out of that fight was, yes, the Widowmaker got picked, but she got rezzed. But the res meant that the Mercy had to commit very close, and that meant that she took a lot of damage and she died.
Absolutely, and actually, Color Wheel is going to be choosing a different avenue of attack here with no scope back up the cart, and Delusional is getting here, but Peggy butts 100 charges into Mercies so far this game. I think that's at least 3. But in comes Michi into, has to back off and uses 1 with his Rhine Shatter there, but doesn't really get any follow-up from his team. The fight is pretty spread out at this point, as Lame doing a bit of work on Genji now. He's been jumping everywhere with a bit of help from Zen.
That was a ballsy charge from Yunako.
Very aggressive Rhines, these guys.
Yeah, it's the only way to play Ryan. It's so much fun. Yeah, they've given Delusional $50. It's like go after the Widowmaker and it's an easy hold, and it seems to be working so far. They propped wall hacks and they have 5 ults with wall hacks. It'll be very interesting what they do with this, and Delusional's taking down.
And he was kind of out of the way and can't get a rest from that from Nagy. He's back in lines, but Carthel's keeping them beaten back with the attack visor himself, and Lame gets a couple dashes in there. He has Dragonflight, but isn't going to be using it as Grab actually gets whiffed way in the back from Father Kappa. Kappa indeed. Hobbit is trying to go for Maggie Butts and just can't slice on the last one he gets her. Earth Shatter.
Remember how we were talking about Colwheel having 6 ults? They're all gone.
They used them all, you're right.
And sure, they're winning now, but it was not decisive. This is a scrappy fight. And really, Delusional needs to be on cart right now, dying on cart, so that they get enough time to stall for a second fight. But he's not, and they're likely to just cap this from staggered spawns.
Well, surprisingly, Horse has been out there by himself as well, and he's been healing up, and I already got a pause in the game. May have paused that a bit too early. But I shall unpause. That is one bad. And here we go. That's my bad. I'm sick. Alright, fight continues on. That is absolutely my fault. But 1 DC so far. Ryan actually charge off. Michi here.
Colwheel taking this game, deciding it's theirs. Nosco putting the team on his back. Look at him go.
Alright, now the pause comes out as we wait for a player to return.
I believe the rulebook goes that pauses come after the fight ends. But yeah, he is back. I believe the new update that's coming out with the spectator system automatically pauses the moment a player is detected disconnecting.
Alright.
So technically, you're playing by the new rules. You're way ahead of us.
That's true. That's gonna be something that we'll have to. I don't know if he can deal with that or change. Alright. Because that'll be interesting, because usually we don't allow pauses, unlike what I just did in a fight. Because once that disconnect comes out, that just stops playing right there.
But they put wall hacks here, which is actually interesting. Because what can they really do with this? Sure, they can't see people coming out of spawn, but its value is a lot lower. It's much better to save it and maybe wait even for your Zari to have grab and make a wait behind a corner. But Hobbit's taken down pretty early, and this actually very interesting kind of positioning coming up from Carball. He goes up top, tries to take a weird angle, is forced back by a Lucio ult. The front line is skirmishing. Oh, that's an enormous shatter. 4 people. Nikki, all this gets.
And he's gonna just spin as fast as he can while switching the cameras. Looks like they're gonna probably clean up here as well. Once again, Maggie using a Valkyrie late into a fight here, and well, getting a kill herself. Not sure if it was quite worth.
Likely from this fight, you're gonna see. I mean, ideally, you'd see Orion absolutely outplay the hell out of Mikidako and get an enormous shatter, but it's pretty difficult to do. So, more than likely, you're going to see a Graviton into Dragonblade here. It's probably the simplest play to pull off right here.
If they can pull that off here, the Horse does have Transcendence.
He does indeed, that's a very good point.
A bit of a stalemate here on Kara's Delusionals, keeping them in place. Of course, Legion with the shield on Ryan here. And so far, finally some picks come out on him, but it's 2 down immediately. Colorwheel. Starry is going to go for both those reses here, and even Earth Shatter will knock down people, but out comes finally the Transcendence. For the reflected Deadeye from Hobbit on Carver. He does get immediately re-rest here. And because of Mercy, these fights are getting pretty long here.
Yeah, Valkyrie has only just ended. I just see Lamb going really deep for this Mercy, but with any kind of healing with her self regen, it's incredibly difficult to take her out on your own.
I feel great.
And even after over a minute fight here, as it just continues on, Caleb finally starting to miss, but a grabs Maggie, who...
That's a Valkyrie and a grab, that's not good.
That's unfortunate there. It probably most likely panic ult, but that's going to be huge as Color Wheel is going to be pushing in here. But even with 30 seconds left, there could be some stalling here as Delusional is switching over to Roadhog last second.
Yeah, they need to get out here quick, which puts them at a disadvantage, which makes Orion more likely to get a big shatter, but that is not a big shatter. Sure, he takes out Maggie. Maybe it's worth it. Castle. Castle.
Wow. So they used all their ultimates, and that will most likely seal the deal here. I don't think there's any possible way for anyone to get there in time.
I think that shatter is fine if you know the enemy Mercy has Valkyrie. Maybe he missed that she used it in the graph earlier. That's it's unfortunate. I think we saw them kind of falter a little bit on the second point, so it's probably feeling pretty pleased about getting it all the way to last, essentially. Right.
And probably Bai should have stopped. You know, you're saying they should have gotten to that cart a lot sooner, especially with what combo they just had there at the very end. They probably could have stopped it, you know, another 5 meters, you know, even or shorter than it went.
But I'm very interested with this color wheels comp right here. Sombra on this map is actually very powerful. Junkrat's very good right now. I think Diva's actually pretty underrated. People complained a lot about Defense Matrix, obviously, and they kind of, in most players' minds, she kind of dropped off the face of the earth, but she's pretty good now, kind of.
I think she's maybe not, definitely not a must pick. I don't think for a tank, no. But definitely, you know, moving up a tier. You know, if you classify it, you know, best tier, A, B, C, however people like to put it on the scale. But yeah, I mean, Sombra has been pretty good for a while. I think after the season after Sombra came out, when people finally started to really understand her, is when they figured out these capture or these escort maps with big health packs.
Yeah, I think people first started playing her on maps like Anubis and Volskaya, and they really realized that her EMP was, and her charge rate in particular, was absolutely nuts. And then they started experimenting on maps like this and Gibraltar, and yeah, she's a strength to be a force to be reckoned with, and especially combined with mobile tanks, especially because they can take damage with their large health pools and then use their mobility to get back to these health packs and charge EMP preposterously fast.
Yeah, and Color Wheel does have those very mobile tanks here, Diva and Winston. Kind of going for a counter dive in a sense, but Lane here is getting a bit of dangerous territory, but Hobbit actually, the other Genki.
Got no scope.
No scope city. Up on the spire here, does grab Karlu. Immediately rezzed.
No one's looked at him. I say that. He's about to die. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, finally goes down, and finally they touch the cart. Color Wheel contesting a bit, but too little too late as half their team is falling, and View are on their way back here. It'll be hard pressed to get anything done. Well, actually, not if Bai leaves the cart here.
And Maggie is about to have Valkyrie up, and with that, and the essentially solo support coming out of Color Wheel, they can use this and just push forward. They can use it preemptively right now and win this fight pretty easily. There's nothing that can test a Valkyrie in the air.
And Star using her hack there, only got 2 people, the divers that are deep into enemy territory, but Horse is actually coming out and getting a double and 2 assists, so almost technically a 4-piece here, as they're going to finally contest that payload, and Karthol is going to smash down Orion here.
And they will be taking point A, yes.
There we go, yeah.
But I didn't really like how they were playing with Sombra. Generally, you want to play pretty passively, take a lot of damage and poke very kind of passively, and then charge your EMP just essentially by taking a ton of damage that is normally unnecessary, and then going with your EMP with the dive you have. But they play pretty upfront. It didn't work out.
They're actually going to stick with her for the time being, but Valkyrie hit early by Banana as just pure heals going into this fight. An interesting spot, but NoScope is trying his best to spam through that corner, but not if he has something to say about it with his big old hammer. But Hobbit coming through with double kill so far with his Dragon Blade. And right now, Fight is getting pushed into the tunnels, back out the first, and it seems like it'll finally break here as actually Hobbit going a little too deep. Well, he actually does get delusional.
My ultimate is charging.
And you see Maggie still not using Resurrect. I think no, excuse me, Resurrect. Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, yeah.
Incredibly different ults. Valkyrie is more preemptive than I think any other ult in the game, and using it right now, for example, would just almost win you the fight on its own.
With delusional getting destroyed there. Diva Bomb up top wasn't really in range of anyone, really. A lot of places to hide from that one, but Delusional is going to be coming in here trying to just separate a team, and so far that's doing a little bit of work as the Halo's inching forward, but not if Hobbit can slice through a bunch of people here, but he does go down after getting just worse. So finally Maggie's going to hit Valkyrie. And once again, they're already on the winning side of this fight, and maybe she doesn't really know it at that point, but it seems to be a theme here.
Banana Bolts was a little bit out of position there, I'd say. He was going towards the enemy spawn and caught by a Deadeye. Not our proudest moment, I'd say. Yeah, this is kind of usually what you want to do is hold the tunnels up against the defending team. But against the Junkrat, it's incredibly risky, and although they do take the point, they lose 2. So they need to essentially go back to spawn right now and wait for 6, and then start.
I'm surprised it's finally taken Cutawheel to hit out this far. Banana just hitting Valkyrie, just because why not? They're just going to come out here and push them into spawn. They're trading a few here. Pause. No. Fight. And they're just going to keep continuing on, even in their spawn essentially right here, which is kind of interesting.
I think very questionable ult usage coming out from, well, where do I look? Well, let's start with Banana Balls. That was very strange. That Valkyrie. They were essentially in the enemy team spawn. There was no value by using Valkyrie there. But Bai has a lot of ults in this fight, and Color Wheel had none. And that's not a huge shatter, but it is one pick, and it's a guaranteed pick. But it's not enough with Carful doing things like that.
I don't know, he's constantly getting at least one, at least 2 of his Deadeyes, and it's always a very great
Liam putting his blade out. Putting his blade out in public. Takes out 2. And not essentially necessary. They only have 1 ult now. But if Delusional actually plays this very smart, he can just keep them in spawn. He lets a few out, but he can still keep them off cart.
Oh man, they came so close to getting that card there, but Diva Bomb will come out and get Maggie, the person that he needs to, 99% of Valkyrie. But in the back is Hobbit doing his own work with Dragon Blade here. Once again, he's grabbing at least 1 kill per Dragon Blade, which isn't terrible, but not great as well. Bananas
Look at Mech and Delusional. These are just what tanks do. They stay on cart, they spin their mouse. But this time, it's not enough, clearly. But Maggie and Mackie are coming back into this fight with their ultimates. And they're, well, as again, Color Wheel have no ults to defend with. So ideally the call should just be on Bai to focus the enemy shield and get a big shatter and win easily. But you're gonna have kind of an annoyance in your way of no-scope on the mate, putting walls exactly like this and putting Mech in his impossible position with an excellent charge coming in. That's a free pick, forcing out Resurrect and Valkyrie. But
they're going to be committed here. I mean, the commitment is starting to work here. Already taken down half of the team. As the charge from Orion actually just misses everyone. Is going to come way back in the line. Get back as no scope just barely makes it to the cart, but even after that, Bai will take the first map.
Damn. I thought they were done for when Mechie got walled in there and charged. But the power of Resurrection, the power of Valkyrie, works wonders. This
Carthel
actually nice play.
just in the chaos there. I always think that's the best place for a Deadeye, honestly. After everyone engages, take half step back, hit that Q.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mighty fine.
Alright, buy up 1 here. Go to a bit of control.
Control. I think this is probably the map type that's more focused about mechanics. Because of the long, drawn-out fights, generally the DPS players get all their time to shine. However, if you see, for example, 2CP, it's usually about strategy, ult usage, positioning, and coordinating wipes. But we're on control set and not 2CP.
Ooh, the quick choice of Oasis, too.
Immediate choice. We didn't see any fire on this map, which is usually the most predominant thing you mentioned about Oasis. So maybe they've got a fire that they just chose not to bring out on a route. It's
Yeah,
not an
maybe.
especially good map for fire.
I mean, with Oasis, the only map that doesn't really work is University, I think.
Yeah.
That's the name of it, yeah. So, I mean, you have 2 out of 3 to use them, Pharah Mercy combo here.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll see.
I've seen teams before just say, yeah, for sure, we're going to lose University, but we're absolutely going to win the other 2. And it doesn't... And it kind of goes to plan, they put all their practice into Farah, and it works. So maybe we'll see. Sure, I'm pretty likely we'll see Farah. Even on like non-Oasis control maps, it's so common.
Mm-hmm. Just waiting for that bat ready. Buy. I think they would need a minute. Oh, there we go. All right.
Oasis.
Let's see what our first map will be. Wonder if it'll be University or City Center
Welcome
or
to
the other
Oasis.
one.
The other one. Gardens? Question mark?
Yes, you're right. I
But we
it
are
is.
on University.
Yes, we are.
And no scope is on the Farah. I mean, the Widowmaker, excuse me. Once again, he's proved himself on this Widowmaker, given 1 map already. So I think we can trust him to play it. Hobbit showed the Farah initially, but is now on something else.
I think they were just wondering which map it was, and I think they're probably waiting for a fair on different section of Oasis here.
Yeah.
But
I think if they flash it here, they're probably going to play it.
right.
But more
Um,
interesting is the
Sombra?
Sombra.
Yeah.
Is that a
Not
Hanzo?
a
Oh boy.
terrible choice. I mean, it's as long as you have those heroes that can go in and out of the pit in the very center of the control point, because there is a mega health pack down there. And obviously, you have a few other health packs scattered around, but
Yeah. If I'm not wrong, actually, every single hero on Vi's roster right now can actually get out of that pit. Some have to use cooldowns, yes, but all of them are capable of it. So yeah, actually, a Sombra could be very powerful on this. And also the mini on the high ground doesn't hurt at all. If you have to win a 1v1 up there, it's incredibly helpful.
Round
Oh, yeah.
1. Capture the objective.
well, color wheel in blue, buy in red now. As they switch sides, going in Lucio from Force this time instead of Zen, so they're going for a bit of speed and a little bit of dive as Michi and Delusional are doing a bit of teaming up work, trying to get that energy up here. And Hanzo already getting pushed off the side by Lame. No scopes, brotherly fight off to the side.
Oh, no scope.
Already some
No
change.
scope.
Oh, no scope. Oh my god.
What a monster. Even without the health pack.
I mean, he does get the picks, he does fall, but the resurrections are going to go in favor here of Vi as they're going to be chasing down the rest. Well, I mean, I don't want to cast a curse here, but I mean, it's looking pretty bad.
My EMP
It does
is
finally fall.
But they do have the EMP underneath actually, and Orion has access to it, but he doesn't get back to it that time. But Starry is coming up to an EMP, which she will almost certainly get by the engagement of next fight.
My ultimate is
So
charged.
the strategical thing to do here, strategic, is just to go high ground, hack the health pack, let your Hanzo rain death from above, which you're not gonna let him do, because you'll let him die and res him. Works just as well, sure.
Gotta look up.
Cockball! He's gun cocky.
Hobbit is starting to learn a bit of Carthul's strategy here, but already Banana is going to use that Valkyrie, get no scopes alive once again. He's been falling and res all the time, but a bit of, I think, a dual, just the Dragon that had a weird color effect there from the no scopes, as actually Dragon just more for flair, if anything, at that point, because they definitely already won the team fight.
And the kind of downfall of these Sombra compositions is you don't really have any defensive ults, which may prove pretty bad going into a Dragon Blade and a Graviton. Essentially, if either player gets a good engage, as it were, with Dragon Blade or Graviton, you're going to be in dire straits.
Yeah, but actually, speaking of Pharah, Carthul now on Pharah here, already got picked early on, but Maggie, hello, here's Valkyrie once again to push back and try and get back the point from Color Wheel, who are falling one after the other. Starry not getting, well, he does have EMP, but it's not coming out as fast as she needs it to be. And right now, tanks are kind of stuck in the middle, contesting the point on the side of Color Wheel. Orion doing his job right now is Winston leaking out as much percentage as they can.
With Primal Rage and access to a Mega Health Pack, you're going to last for a long damn time.
Actually, Father Kappa for the longest time just stayed in the bottom, waited for Ryan to die, and Booch barely misses falling in there. But Lame has enough of this. He's gonna go for the kill here. Starry Long is gonna kind of throw away the pack there, as Hobbit will do as much as he can with his Dragon Blade. Only gets one, and once these fights just continue on forever, ultimates just continue to leak out.
I think he actually makes a good judgment call there. He had his Primal Rage, but he knew the fight was done. He decides to die and reset to have another day and then fight with his team. But
So-
Delusional actually doesn't use Graviton that entire fight. It's kind of hard to believe that in that long fight, he never had a good opportunity. Maybe he was afraid of the defense matrix, the deflect.
I think he target, and that's probably Banana Bolts has, well, it gets thrown out, but not to get Banana, who's flying high above here. Will get Orion back up, who did such a great job at stalling the point last time, and they're finally at 99%. Let's see how they can continue this on, but now Maggie is going to extend the fight with a sound barrier, so far going strong against Color Wheel, as the health pack still in the middle is supplying so much ultimate for Starry, but it won't work if you're dead, as she has to come back. And the fight will continue on as Orion is just madly hitting people away here.
And you say she can't do anything when she's dead, but while she's dead, her imp, he charges and she comes back with it, and there it is.
And actually, they're gonna go off the
Wow.
point.
Hello, team.
Hello. Goodness gracious.
Score.
With that EMP, Hobbitron and the Zarya were taken down to basically negligible health.
Yeah, I was looking at that
Not
too.
taken down.
Man, I think honestly, best play of that last map was Orion stalling for like 20% of the capture rate, then Father Kappa, who was just biding his time sitting at the lower health pack, then to extend even more time pull up once Orion was gone. And that allowed the rest of the team to filter back in, and they never lost control at that point.
One.
Yeah, seeing a stall like that just makes you realize how important the first fight is. Because once you have this point, you can just use stalling ultimates just to stall 4 out with health packs as well. So we're going to be going to the first fight right now. A weird comp coming out from Color Wheel. They're going for a Roadhog and a Reaper with a Pharmacy. This is a strange comp. Essentially, Kalfa's going to plug them from range. Eventually, Delusional's going to get a hit, a hook, and they can just march forward, and Lame will destroy anything in front.
Well, Starry did hack the middle health pack. It didn't get too much, only halfway. So her ultimate, and so far it's not. I mean, it's back and forth between these two teams at the moment. Ultimates are getting close for some, but not before they start falling and dying here. And it looks like finally, Vi will pull off the first capture as they did in the previous map.
I think this is actually really smart composition from Color Wheel, because Reaper, Roadhog, they're not really affected by being EMP'd. I mean, they can just kind of, I mean, Reaper gets a little bit of lifesteal combined with a little bit of healing from Lucio and Mercy, he can survive. Roadhog can just kind of wander away, so they're kind of just tanking up and letting them say, hey, you can hit us, but we'll hit back a lot harder. And you see Delusional just deciding to plug Orion in the front line. They can do this all day. They are completely uncontested, but I'm going in with a speed boost as well. It feels so good when your speed boost is an ulting Reaper.
Oh yeah, absolutely wiping the board there. I was about to say, it's all up to Lame's positioning. He's also defending his healers because a little bit of, dive comp from Color Wheel there, jumping on their healers. He can, blast away all that health those things have here. But 6 ultimates though in the bank.
What can they do with them?
Color Wheel. Oh boy, Orion going right down to about 20 health in that immediate fight here. So far, he's the first one to pop ult, and he will immediately fall late doing so much damage. And there finally comes the hack from Starry. That will sound the horns.
Immediately cancelled by the EMP. Hobbit actually screws up his blade a little bit. He misses up his dash. And sure, he gets 1 pick, but it's immediately res. If he had messed up his dash, maybe he could have gotten 2, maybe 3.
Potentially, and actually, Father Kappa, well, probably could have flew away from there to live another day. I just decided to sacrifice myself. Coming up to 100% here. No scopes falling early from Delusional from a little bit of hook action.
That is disastrous right there.
I mean,
the Hobbit is saying, okay, that's a nice comp you got there, but I'm gonna look at your clumped up comp and I'm gonna throw rockets into it. So we'll see how this goes. It's up to Carthel to shut this down. If he doesn't, I think they might be in trouble.
It's gonna be tough, but Lane does have Death Blossom. He's looking for a spot to use it. He's focusing on Banana Bolt here right now. He does hit it, and he's just laying damage in, but doesn't grab anything. But Hobbit, who most likely will get res after this, as No Scope is the last. Oh, just kind of sitting there crouching, trying to get horses. He's the last one. Just why not? He's sitting there. He will fall. Spread out the spawn, but that doesn't matter. You're at 99%.
That was, for control point standards, a pretty quick fight. And looking at Vice Comp, I think they're going to struggle with long fights. Because, yeah, sure, they have Mercy, but she's going to be sticking to Hobbit quite a lot, which leaves 4 or 5 players kind of on their own. And sure, they have a little bit of healing from Soldier's healing station, and a little bit from health packs, but Delusional and Lame provide a lot of kind of mid to long range damage.
Yeah, you have to focus on getting those health packs from Starry here. But Hobbit actually is coming out with a massive Justice Reigns from above there. Grabbing 3. Father Kappa is going to help clean up the rest as Miki just going to have to jump off the edge, reset the spawn, and take another stab at it here. Most likely leading off, well, with the hack. And of course, an Earthshatter will be just as well.
Can you hear the beeping?
I can hear the beeping.
Okay.
Incessant beeping. Forever. It's a feature, not a bug.
But Meki is actually opting for a Reinhardt here. I'm not sure about this, especially versus a Sombra who blatantly has EMP, and is going to be taken out actually by Carthel. That's a huge play.
Carthel does hit the Deadeye, will grab Hobbit above the upper levels here, but the Earth Shatter comes out from Orion, and he grabs one, but not before falling himself, and out comes Attack Visor from No-Scope finally. He's looking for Maggie, will grab her. That's the person you want to find, but after that, it seems like Banana is the last one alive, and can't contest the point from up there, my dear, and that will fall. Finally into Team Bai here, grabbing around for themselves.
And something that happened kind of off the stage there, as it were, was Banana came out of the frame to res the Sombra, presumably in the hope that she would come in and EMP this very kind of static comp, but the fight had already kind of dissolved by that point. People were pretty spread out, and she couldn't get a good one.
I think they're realizing that Sombra isn't really as effective on these other maps here as Starry going over Mercy. No scopes onto Widowmaker, which isn't terrible on this map. If you can control the high ground, which they could, in theory, with Hobbit as well, you can get some great vantage points as Widow here.
Yeah, it puts a lot of pressure on this Widow to really follow up kills, but we've seen Hobbit, No Scope put in a lot of work already. And all Hobbit really needs to do is put in a little bit of damage here and there, and force people out of certain positions into channels that No Scope will need, and he can do work. I say
Well,
that.
so far, I mean, she's a bit close counter for a Widow at the moment, as I think, yeah, right now, Color Wheel is getting pushed into their side of the map here. No Scope is just going to sit there, try and contest for as long as she can. Not going to grab much. The fight, I think Horse's speed boost in the very beginning of the map got them a bit of an edge up while going to the bounce pad for a fight, just positioning wise.
Yeah, and if you look at Horse's ult, Lucio ult charges pretty slowly. It's kind of impressive that he's already got 75%, now 80. It shows how close this team is playing together. How much kind of residual healing he's getting. Hobbit comes in saying, "You're gonna play close? Fine.
No one can hide.
I'm gonna barrage you from behind and you're gonna die."
I mean, I don't think they even saw Hobbit coming up and over the top there. They were too focused on the other forces coming down the stairs there.
That is the power of high ground right there. If you're not up there, you can't see what's up there. So get up there.
That is
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
We're gonna see Starry getting ult
Yeah.
right now.
Both Mercies will have their Valkyrie. It's kind of a game of chicken, or who gets forced to use their ultimate first here. But right now, No Scope is once again up pretty far as a Widowmaker, and way out of position. Even.
That is a nice shatter actually. In close range, he can hit up a lot of cleave. This is a little bit of
Boy, this is just
a scrappy in the back alleyways of Oasis.
a lot of big people in a tiny place. So it does not go well. Finally, Maggie is going to call in Valkyrie, but Carthol once again way back behind, but you have so much to walk around to try and find someone with that dot eye. It does find Starry, the perfect person to find.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool, yeah.
And, I mean, as much as that's going to do for them, Transcendence Nana isn't really the greatest at Hobbit. He'll just end up killing himself. Whoops.
And you see Color Wheel, they're saying, fine, we've had enough of the Pharah, we're gonna switch to double hit scan. Hopefully, it will work for us. Sometimes I see teams going to double hit scan and they're not comfortable with playing Soldier and McCree, so they just don't do well. And Hobbitrock is kind of, I mean the enemy Pharah plays well against sightlines, and during that, it's kind of just a tank game. You kind of ignore the Pharah and the other team can peg your tanks.
Yeah, and looks like No Scope switching off the Widow, not quite confirmed. He's going to be over on Tracer. A super backline Tracer right now, as I think Whole Hog getting thrown out by Delusional, but not before Lame is going to throw a attack visor, but not really into anyone. Spider Mercy, but the shield from Orion will keep her alive for the time being, and No Scopes does grab him down. Charge from Orion.
Ryan's shot to go cancel there. He had it when I looked a second ago and it just disappeared. I think it must have been cancelled by Delusional.
Yeah, probably by the hook. Wouldn't surprise me. Oh man. Horse, he just wants to eke it out to 99% here. That would be, he has to get on point for that to happen though, not up top. And
98.
That's depressing right there. I mean, granted, you're gonna maybe get a team kill afterwards, so it may not matter, but it'd always be nice to be at 99.
Yeah, it was a good effort. But Mackie gonna be coming into this with his shit. So, and Orion's going to be coming up to his, so it may just come down to the good old-fashioned Reincock fight, but Hovertruck's saying no.
He'll get 3, including Maggie Bus there, and Miki only, well, just kind of throws out Urshire to get quite literally nothing there, as the rest of I here are just trying to stay alive, but most of it won't happen here. Yeah, Lane.
Starry's Valkyrie coming out in an overtime long fight like this. It's incredibly difficult for Color Wheel to get any fix there.
Boy, Color Wheel can take it. So that'll be a 1-1 here, going the full best of 3 here, which I feel like we don't see too often.
No, we don't. We usually see kind of one-sided affairs. It's good to see. It's good to see no competition, absolutely.
Better than a slew of 2 O's and 3 O's.
Yeah, dude.
That does not surprise me.
That's a lot.
Hard there. After all those rocket barrages of at least 3 people, like 3 times.
Yeah, it's actually pretty hard to get that many barrage kills. Because usually you say, sure, I'm gonna die with this barrage, may as well trade it. But it's pretty respectable to get that many multi-kills with barrage. And the next map type will be
Assault.
Assault. Everyone's favorite.
Yeah, of course. 2CP, baby. My guess is Temple Anubis. I don't think anyone's chosen Hanamura so far.
Yeah, is it Bai that have the Sombra player?
It was Starry who had Sombra. So well, I wouldn't expect to have Bai to just use a Sombra just because 2CP.
Are the overlays bugged?
But you never know. No. Self-deprecating humor, gotta love it. It would thoroughly surprise me if Hanamura was chosen here. I don't think anyone's ever chosen Hanamura. Just because second, I feel, is such a hard point to take. Unless you're just steamrolling from first somehow as you catch some people on the retreat, but
I think Bai's is the correct pick for Bai here is go to Hanamura. Just because you've seen Starry play a lot of Sombra, and Sombra's so good on Temple. And yeah, Hanamura sucks to push, but you both gotta do it.
Anubis it is.
Yeah.
Alright, and what will choose side?
Ooh. Another thing I just noticed is I believe the player that left was no scope.
They must be subbing in, perhaps.
Yeah. I don't know why, because this is a really good Widow map. I mean, I guess it wasn't that pick, was it?
I mean, the Route 66 Widow was great.
Yeah, it was.
Oasis Widow, not as great.
It's a lot harder of a map to put off, though.
Okay, they want attack. No.
And they want to swap in no scope for Banana. Which I think is a good idea.
No scope for Banana. Boop. Then the best update of them all, the automatic swap ball button.
Oh, isn't it beautiful?
Holy crap. Blizzard does care. All right. Oh, punching the mic. It's a good start. Temple of Anubis. Color wheel hitting the attack first. Sadly, they are ready. Alright, color wheel ready. Buy ready. Starting with a Y to Anubis. My guess, the map that has the most amount of Symmetra plays.
Oh no.
I just see it all the time. I mean, well, that's just in comp, you know. You always got that one person. But then someone's like, oh, I'll do Torb as well. Oh.
Oh no. And then the third guy goes, I'll play Orisa. And the fourth guy leaves. And you leave.
I mean, hey, if your enemy team doesn't know how to play Winston, good on you, you know? I doubt I'd see Symmetra here. Well, as we were saying, Horse is the one to do some Sombra play.
I think Mercy's probably the the healer that makes the most sense to run solo healer with Sombra. The only other pick I think is Lucio maybe, just to speed the health packs a bit more. But we don't see mobile tanks, which maybe you don't need with Sombra because the packs are generally so close. But I wouldn't say it's optimal setup for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's just its positioning is gonna be insanely important here. Granted, it always is, but especially with those slower heroes here, and even picking a Hanzo, Karthal, maybe going for some sweet, awesome, totally balanced scatter hero kills here.
Yeah, how long is it gonna be before you see Ross hook up here with look at the ground, look at the land he sees before him. It's all his, but he can't do anything because it's terrible.
Ouch. Actually, well, Karthal did take down one. Took down a fair amount of people. But the fight goes on to the point as Ryan and crew go up top and around, and Nikki getting a fat charge on his no scope. On Lucio now, rather than a Widow or anything damage based here. And I think the defense will hold for now as Hobbit actually, falling early from Karthal, who now has Dragon Blade. Or it's Dragon Blade. Wow. Dragon Strike.
I'm sure there's all that much you can do with Dragon Strike here, actually. Apart from, I guess, if Color Wheel decides to go top, then you can just ult it and get the odd pick. But they decide actually to ult this small mini room. Don't get anything, but put a lot of damage into Father Kappa.
Yeah, and they actually booped Orion in on the other side, just into the tail end, literally, of the dragon here. That's going to be just 1 or 2 picks is enough for the attack to stop here. But Starry actually still doesn't even have Valkyrie. Granted, she will have it in a few seconds after a bit of healing, but still, Maggie's had hers for a bit now.
Yeah, and with these Valkyries, the only thing that could really shut you down and take you out of the sky is the soldiers. There's nothing really that can put damage on you. But a barrage coming in from Hobbit, this time it's just a trade, the classic barrage.
An interesting spot, not really close to anyone, and we'll get picked off here, and the defense will just continue to hold with help from Maggie's Valkyrie here, and it is very much a team effort at this moment, as not really one person is crowding the kill feed here. And Horse already back up to the hack here, which hasn't used it in a bit. All right, we do allow this. We've allowed this in the past. We get little short pauses for super ultra mega ping.
Yeah, I know that feel.
Five minutes. Curious. Pausing can only occur when there's no team fights happening. 5-minute time bank for each team. And we start when we pause, and we stop it when we unpause. I still get a no. I'll keep the timer going. The tactical pause, as some like to call it.
Tactical. Technical. What's the difference?
It's all the same to me.
Yeah.
All right.
2CP.
Now for some spicy predictions here.
Okay.
With the attackers having no ultimates, they've already been beaten down twice. And finally are ready.
I think this is gonna be... I think probably Orion's gonna die first. From diving in a little bit too far. And then Mackie's gonna push forward and get a big shatter. And then Horse is gonna waste his EMP. Let's go.
The spicy predictions indeed. Let's see if it will come to fruition here, as they're gonna go back and change some heroes here. Looks like it. Oh, yeah, late changes here.
Yeah. Well, Orion can still go and feed on Reinhardt instead of Winston. It's fine.
Yeah, just charge in and it'll be okay.
If he doesn't, if he forgets that Mickey has shatter, he can absolutely still feed.
Yeah,
But
Horse
this is actually
is
a
gonna activate it
big rush going to high ground. Oh my
Maybe
goodness!
he won't need it.
Good grief!
Earth Shatter from Miki just... Oh.
And these,
What's the point? I mean, well, Ross did get 2, but he's in such an awful place at the moment. He's so far behind enemy lines here. I don't know if he'll ever get back, or he's just hiding and waiting for an engagement. As... Oh, he...
And actually, Color Wheel are gonna take this chance to move in after Ross drills a few players back. And they're actually on point. 4 players are on point right now. They're taking advantage of this.
With the sound barrier just to help them, but not with a dragon and an EMP to just clear them. Once again, Lame doing the mopping up work with attack visor here. And 15 seconds left. Mad dash to the point, even if they get there, who knows. But as no one's really moving in, waiting for the team, I don't think it'll really be possible. Even with Lucio, the Kappa misses. Oh, I'm sorry, he's on Tracer. Under a second to go. He grabs onto point, and he's the first one to contest it.
Ross
once
high
again
ground. Oh my goodness, Ross.
Gets the suicide. Tactical death. And Starry is going to try her best to grab as many resurrections, but the dumb rush, oh, it always works. It never fails. Why not win a point?
You know who I'm looking
at
at?
the end?
I'm looking at Maggie. What?
Maggie.
It was the last fight. If you won that fight, you won the game. Why not use Valkyrie? If the other team uses it and you have it, you should use it. 100%.
Now that I fell early, I didn't quite see, but that adds 4 precious minutes. Now that's Padres. Oh god, the pretty cool memes are leaking again. But well, no scopes get picked off early from Delusional. I don't think Color Wheel is going to try and rush in with a Lucio down, and now Genji down as well here. Yeah, they're going all the way back to their spawn just about.
Are they gonna switch anything, do you think? Doesn't look like it.
No, I think they're going to keep it. I mean, obviously it just worked for them, so.
It must
But
work.
now, maybe it'll be after 3 minutes and 15 seconds that they'll get the capture.
They're gonna go right, actually. I like this route onto the bricks of right. Just because you push the enemy team's healers out of position. But this fight's a mess. Look at it. It is a skirmish in every regard. EMP comes out, Valkyrie.
Actually, Starry sitting way in the back with Ross, away from the EMP, and then using Valkyrie now into the point, and he's healing up. And Ziggy can't get any kills on no scopes, but actually after all of that, Hobbit will be coming in, even with damage boosted Blade to clean up the point here. And few people are still on point here. He contested away from that first tick. He doing his best in Primal Rage. Not doing so much except finally hitting Hobbit off the point. But here we go in full 2CP mode.
This is 2CP in a nutshell right here. You see mobile tanks coming in, you see them getting the health pack, and the health pack is up every 5 seconds. With every health pack you get 20% ult. Sombra's gonna be coming back with an EMP ASAP.
But you need those teammates to go off point and grab it first, but that's going to be hard for him to do as Ross is pushing up the attack visor and he's looking to grab everyone. His horse is cloaked and finally gets off point. Lame into the speedy staller Tracer here will fall, and it's just a trickle forever. I finally get the first tick, maybe for a second even. Looking for that final capture here. With a minute and a half to go. Hobbit here though.
There's the
Yes,
EMP.
Max?
Hobbit's saying no though, he wants blood.
Well, and no one can really focus down Starry, who's just been up top the whole time with a Valkyrie here.
I've been spectating Ross, no one's looked at him. And sure, it takes a while to take this point, but eventually you gotta take out
Score.
the strong DPS at the backline who are plugging in constant amount of damage.
Oh, and it's granted, it is kind of hard to do. You have to think about disengaging from the point to go find someone else in a very chaotic moment when all you're doing is trickling in as defenders. So it's just someone has to make that call and action to do so.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to the situation you see on Hanamura sometimes when a soldier is up on high ground on the second point, and you can't afford to get him off high ground with your tanks because you have to stay on point. So I think I saw the other day someone go Widowmaker from the spawn and snipe him, and then go back and switch to a tank because it's the only thing they could do to dislodge him. But on Anubis, you don't have that option.
No, you really don't here. I mean, it's like all your high grounds are not these sprawling like decks or these big open areas. There's like these little tiny circular platforms that are kind of difficult to get onto. You don't just have stairs up to your favorite high ground here.
Am I seeing no Sombra on Temple of Anubis? Am I dreaming?
Excuse me? Well, they're trading it for a Junkrat. Which,
Okay.
I mean, Junkrat's great right now.
Incoming.
Especially with all these tiny chokes. Especially on these maps. So, I mean, interesting to see how much they focus, or if they focus Miki's shield at all, like Ryan here, or if they're just going for a straight damage, around the shield.
I mean, realistically, if you look at Miki, if you think about what Miki's POV is going to look like, who is he really going to be protecting? Horse? Is that it? No one else is going to be behind him.
That's a very good point. Gosh, I didn't even think about that. Oh my god. Well, it depends on how much Maggie will stick to Carthol. Obviously, the fabled Fair Mercy combo here. They have Horse, though, to keep Carthol healed up slightly, but actually Delusional is going to get trapped in there, and a little help from Lost to bring him down. Then back up again from Maggie on the other side of things. Delusional is kind of on his own, as there's not much dive along with the lane.
Interestingly, I will say, an interesting one.
Yeah.
Wait.
Carthol, I mean, not out of position, going for a flanking route, but his team already retreated at that point. And Horse, though, is kind of stuck in an interesting spot here.
He is. He's kind of let out by his right hand now. It seems like they want to go into this left room to fight over the Mega. I don't like this because Color Wheel have a Junkrat. You can't push a choke point against the Junkrat if you don't have one to push it.
Ooh. Grabs Miki, but gives a lot of energy to Delusional, who will make his way out and try and keep as much as that active until their next attack here. But it's been not super coordinated pushes so far by here. Ooh, do grab a random rocket off no scope. Ooh, does factory rest.
He does.
My ultimate is ready.
And how are they realistically gonna approach this? They have to use, I would about to say use a speed boost to just rush in, try and get past the Junkrat onslaught, but they don't have one. But a grab comes out, that's like a grab. Ooh,
even the Helix rocket grabs the final kill count. A great position there. Even I think Miki's shield is already maybe about half health, but still.
Yeah, your shield's never at full health against a Junkrat. I think the best chance is just to stick Maggie to Carthel, say go in, use a concussive blast to go in, try and get onto point to get your Ryan swinging, doing damage, and take out the Junkrat.
Yeah, but right now Lame is trying to get his way out of the backlines from Junkrat, but Carthel uses Rocket Barrage, but really high up and
Oh my god, that is an enormous shatter. That's a
5-man
5-man.
shatter. But Starry was the one who barely escaped the charge, and that will not go well here. Bye, as they're gonna get pushed back. It was a good shatter, but if he charged Maggie instead of...
I feel for this man. He's playing against the Junkrat. He gets a 5-man shatter and he's still not winning. It's ranked in a nutshell. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, don't count them out yet. A minute left. They can still do the dumb rush at the very end and grab it, as Color Wheel did.
Ideally, they would force out Transcendence and then use Graviton. But that is a very, very optimistic scenario. But No Scope just pops it. He made that dreams come true. And there is the grab. That was an enormous grab. Where is the Dragon Blade?
Baiting out the shield too, and Ryan getting popped up with Miki on a little bit of air time charge. Lame finally gonna try and grab something with his Dragon Blade, and he's not getting anyone. He got turned around a few times there, but the tire.
Tire's coming looking for him.
Oh, 60. Oh, he's gonna get him. Grab it. There goes Carthol. Finally going down. Oh. Seeing the face of death a little too many times there. Oh man.
Oh my god. I think that I think Lame might have cost him that. The Graviton was huge. No Transcendence for whatever reason. Where's the Dragon Blade? He had it. They didn't have Trance.
Yeah. Well, Lame was constantly diving by himself because he was really the only person that could dive, and he was trying to pull them back, I think, when he was on point, just to, you know, give a little bit of caution to Color Wheel, but I mean, everyone just turned around and ended up killing him, pretty much.
Yeah, there's certainly kind of some value into kind of drawing a team away to multiple places when they have spam characters like Junkrat, because obviously you can't spam more than one place at once, and it frees up your tanks and your supports to actually move. But if you're Genji and you use your kind of cooldowns to get to the point, kind of a sitting duck.
Yeah, well, yeah, it didn't quite work out for them as they didn't really commit to playstyle, didn't seem like, at least.
I think 2CP you just gotta say, we're gonna do this. We don't care if it's like not a good idea. We're gonna go for it. We're gonna do it quickly, so even if it fails, we get another shot. Cause it's all about time.
Yeah. Well, speaking of time, that's it for round one. Whoa. Oh, I think already a few teams, at least one, has already played their round 2 game. Because we have 10 teams out of this single elimination tournament, and that brings Color Wheel against Not Prepared round 2.
Not bad. I recognize that name.
A long-standing name, at least for the past probably 5 tournaments, maybe, in the Open and/or Diamond and Below. So for the meantime, we have, that'll be a game to possibly stream, or Farragut Security versus Macho Mangoes, either or. But in the meantime, we'll take a short break, grab some new teams, and we'll be right back with some more Diamond and Below action. Stay right there.